Hey, Antoine, good to see you. Good to talk to you. Just how
Likewise.
frustrating was this season, both from a results perspective for the team and for you personally with injury?
Well, huge. I mean, obviously, coming off the bubble, we were like, have high expectation for ourselves. Like, obviously, it's always hard, like, to go past like what we done the year before in terms of like passing the second round. We knew it's gonna be like a challenge. Like, it wasn't easy, like doing it last year either. But yeah, high expectation for the team come in like, and the the start of the season was just ridiculous. Like, to be honest, like we played so many games, and we didn't have like a good start. That didn't help us. And but the number of games we played, like back on a back to back, and like 4 games a week, and then like I don't think you could sustain like playing 4 games a week for more than 2 weeks, and then like you need your rest time, like not just physically but mentally. I think it was hard, like on our like top players, like to the pressure they had, like to like on themselves, and by their own pressure that they put on themselves, and from the exterior without having great results. That was tough. And then like we were just coming back to alive when we had that 6 days break. We were like almost to 500, and like we had steam, the wind in our back, and then all of a sudden we get COVID. That was tough to handle. Like, like you hear stories about COVID and like how like it affects like people, and you're like, oh, we're athletes, we should be fine. And like a lot of guys got it tough. And now, yeah, and it's from that we had a good 2 games comeback. We were happy, like JT came up and say like open up his mind, like give us a couple more days to recover and like have a good 2 solid games against Toronto. And then like some injuries starting like to come down, cripple down our lineup. And then like COVID actually was the last nail in the coffin for us.
Obviously, I'm sure you're aware that the coaching staff and their contracts are up here. Just your thoughts on Travis Green and his group and the work they've done here with you guys over the last few years.
Well, I mean, like they work hard. Everybody work hard. They're like I have a good relationship with all our staff, and we like them. Like, um, it's nothing I can control about contract as much. There's so much uncertainty right now. But as far as I can control, I can start my training early and come back like even better than I was this year. That's my goal. So like I really hope we keep everybody as another like get another crack at it, because it wasn't really normal year to very evaluate like the whole staff and the whole like player that we had. Uh, so I think like I kind of want another stride at everybody, because we have a good group. It's almost like a couple pieces like left, but like it's almost the same group that made it to 1 goal away from conference final last year. So sometimes like you plan things and they don't go as you plan, but that doesn't mean the talent and the personal are are bad, or we need to like do a revamp or a full renovation of the house.
Next up, we'll go to Jeff Patterson.
Hey, Antoine.
Hey.
When you got injured, was it the second game back? I think it was the second game back.
That was the second game back, and
Yeah.
well, it's easy like to blame COVID, but like he did, like to me, that's like the only reason. Like I was maybe weaker, like in a way of like a muscle. I probably lost like 5-6 pounds more than I already lost from the start of the season, from being like crazy starter season. So yeah, like small bump, and then like my MCL like cracked, and not a big injury, but enough like I would have been almost ready like to come back right now, like. And that was hard, because like we were pushing for playoff spots, and Montreal wasn't doing so well, and like we were looking at it. I was looking at every other game, and I was kind of hoping like we could make it. But then like I went down, then Motter get down, and Sutsi and Beagle, and then like um seems like our whole bottom six was depleted. And as much as you need like your top six to like perform and score goals, you also need like your bottom six for other reasons. And like it's a recipe. You need everybody to be in. You need your club to be healthy to have success, and that wasn't the reason. And I blame I blame COVID for it, or actually for my injury. I do.
Also, heading into an offseason here that involves an expansion draft, and the Canucks are probably going to protect other players. I mean, have you given any thought to Seattle, or is that just, take it and see what happens and let those things take care of themselves?
Well, like I love this city. I love our fan. I love everything here. Like I think a lot of people like feel the same way I do on our team. As far as the expansion draft, it's not something I can control. Like we'll see who gets protected, and we'll go from there. It's like a lot of speculation that I have no control over. So to me, like it's just like prepping for next season, and I really do. I hope and to wear that same jersey I was wearing this year, because I love it. It's like it's tattooed on my heart, and it's a city that deserve like a good year, and like we had a good year last year, but the fans couldn't enjoy it, and it was just good to see like videos of them when we were doing good, like in the bubble, like in the streets, and like having that energy from our fans will be another thing that will help us having a better year next year. So I can control Seattle stuff and the expansion, but I really hope to be here next year.
Next up is Ben Kuzma.
Antoine, ça va?
Hey, oui, très bien, vous?
Okay.
C'est bon?
One from me. You've been around this game a long time, and I know what you're like when you were sitting on press row in Dallas when you were hurt and acting like a coach from the above and pounding on the table and dropping some F-bombs. Sometimes
I wasn't doing that.
Sometimes you learn more about a team from afar when you're not on the bench and you're injured and you see things from above. How far away, Antoine, is a healthy Canucks team with some pretty impressive kids? How far away is this team from getting back in the playoff picture?
Well, not that far. Like that's the thing. Like we were like on the even at COVID point, we were right there. Like we're not that far back. Like to climb, and I think like having everybody healthy will be great. But I come back to the start of the season too. Like I think adding Travis Hamonic and losing him for the first 10 games of the year was hard for our team. He brought up like toughness, competitiveness, and a lot of NESA stuff that was needed in our lineup. And as soon as he got healthy and played, like all our game was better. Like the D were able to like move the puck like quicker to our forwards, and like we didn't have to play like some other guys too much, and like so they could play like rested somehow, and that was a huge impact. So I don't think we need too much. We need maybe like a few things, but not that much stuff to have like a really good team again.
There are some things that are obviously out of your control as a player. This has kind of been audition season here the last few weeks with young guys on the cusp of playing. Do you worry what role you may or may not play on this team next year?
Of course, like you always evaluate yourself, and like you want to bring your best, and like as years go by, like you obviously want to be on the winning team. I know what I bring to a team. I know what I can do, and like it's I don't worry about it too much. Like we'll see where we at, and to me, like it's always been a battle. Like like it's nothing was ever given as far as playing time, as far as like years in the league. Like it's been a while since I'm in the league, but every year I don't take anything for granted. I come in training camp, like my life depends on it, and I think next year more than ever in my career, like when I look at the start, like I think it's going to be like very much of the same, like to compete and like and just to earn it back, and and to have fun doing it too, and be on a good team that can do great things too. It's I think we're not too far from it, and that's what excites me, like for this summer, for this off season, and working hard at it. That's very exciting.
Looks like we have a couple more questions here. We'll go first to Patrick Johnston.
Bonjour, Antoine.
Oh, like you guys like took French course. I love it. That's awesome.
How frustrating was it that it took JT having to speak out to really get your guys' voices heard?
It was frustrating. Like when I was thinking back, like of how I felt, like it's fun. Like we're talking with the guys, and the guys were like, most guys were in the shower, hot shower, trying to like get warmer, like for a couple of days, and then like everybody was so exhausted to just like over the sickness, and then like at this like, and then you couldn't practice for 2 weeks. Like you take a week off, like or 1 day off, actually it's hard enough like on the body like to get back at it. Like can you imagine 14 days? So yes, it was frustrating that JT had to do it, but it just proved like that the kind of leader he is, like, and he can speak his mind up, and that's it's one thing when I do it, but when it's your top scorer that does it, it carries like a longer distance.
And speaking of scorers, you've had some injury frustrations the last couple seasons. Brock Besser had some injury frustrations, but he finally had a full season of health. He managed to avoid COVID. What did you see from him this year?
Great things. I mean, like he brings a scoring touch to our team that is like, like to win, like you need your best player to be at their best, like you look at Edmonton right now, like I know this Connor McDavid, Draisaitl are the best players in the world, but like you need your best to be at their best, like every night. And I think we have great talent on that team that can do that. And Brock is one of those guys, and it's exciting to see him get a scoring touch, and seeing a smile on his face, and been a good teammate. So it's good for us, like in the year we had, to see like him have like some success after the years he had, like you mentioned. It's something I'm getting inspired on.
We'll take one more for Antoine Roussel here from Chris Faber.
Antoine, looking at this season, I'm just wondering, like, how excited do you think this group is just to move into next year and just kind of turn the page on everything?
Well, I think like to turn the page, it's going to be good. I think like guys need some time off. Like, to be honest, it's a grind year. Like, and the last couple of weeks, like especially like when like you're out, like you play for your career, play for the organization, for yourself. But also it's hard. Like you want to play for something in this league, and when you're out of it, it's a grind mentally, and it was a grind physically and mentally. And I think like having a couple of weeks off for the guys to rest their mind up and like turn the page, like you mentioned, will be huge. And I think like that excitement when everything's folded from that season gonna come a little later, but I think guys gonna be more than excited to come back and have a hell of a year next year.
Et je veux demander mon question en français, mais c'est plus que 10 années que j'ai parlé le français. Donc, I want to ask it in English. How excited are you with the young group of guys moving forward in next year and them taking steps?
Premièrement, ton français est incroyable. Continue de travailler là-dessus. Je l'apprécie beaucoup. On the second part of your question, it's everybody's excited in a way that we can be a good team, but like I said, we got to turn the page, and I think next year we have a good group of veterans that like to be back and show their ways.